Good evening with Miguel Noche. These are unsolvable conclusions. Today we have a new battery, and it is not just any battery, but it comes from the National University of Córdoba in Argentina. With you, battery man, that's what you call me.
Conclusiones irresolubles con Miguel Noche.
Well, today we have a new battery, a battery that comes from the National University of Córdoba in Argentina. And I thought I should talk about it because it is a discovery that they are quite proud of here. The research team of this university, and not only this, is that behind the university team there are several official organizations involved in the issue, so the thing is important. Well, in this case we have a new battery, but really the architecture of the conventional lithium battery has not been touched too much here. What is being touched and what is being acted on is the cathode. It has simply been acted on the cathode. But we know that it can be very important if we find a cathode in good condition. Well, we are improving the battery and quite a bit. Well, let's remember that a battery is basically a lithium-ion electrolyte. In this case, a liquid electrolyte that is not physically liquid. It is really a lithium gel, okay? And then we have an anode and a cathode, where the lithium ions will go from anode to cathode, or from cathode to anode, to the extent that the battery is charging or discharging, meaning when it is delivering consumption. Well, in this way, anode and cathode, the anode is generally made of graphite in the vast majority of batteries. The cathode is generally cobalt nickel. In general terms, we already know that the conventional battery. Well, it has energy densities that are limited not only in the discharge but also in the charge. Well, due to the capacity of this cathode to contain lithium ions. So we aspire to aim for a certain type of cathode other than cobalt nickel, especially because it goes beyond efficiency. Let's say that right now we are moving towards energy efficiency. And this type of materials, well, they are materials, they are not efficient. So the nice thing would be to go to a cathode. Well, what do I know? For example, sulfur. Sulfur is a good candidate. It is a material that certain manufacturers are targeting, but it is not as simple as saying, I take a piece of sulfur here, I press it, and now I have a cathode. Requires certain characteristics, and those characteristics are that it must go in a scaffolding structure, in a scaffolding where from there it would be a good cathode. Well, in Argentina they have found that scaffolding, and it is neither more nor less than cow hair. This is where most of them have changed the channel. Come on, Miguel, what are you telling me now? Well, it's not me. As I say, the National University of Córdoba in Argentina has gone to open a patent in the United States because they have considered it a great discovery given the results. Well, what's so special about cow hair? In this case, what is special is that it finally reaches that scaffolding structure. Well, the first thing they realized when they opened the bag was that it gave off an interesting smell, a smell that nourished, a smell that made the air cut off. Okay, so they took these cow hairs, and what they did was give them a series of washings at a domestic level, and then a series of cooking. Well, the cooking, I suppose it would also be domestic, because in the end it is putting it in water above 100 degrees, which is finally achieved with this cow hair after these cooking and so on, is a biochar that forms a scaffolding structure where that sulfur will be fixed and giving results. Perfect as a cathode for a battery. In the end, what is achieved with this new sulfur cathode, because in short it is a sulfur cathode, the cow hair is for the structure, but in itself it is the sulfur that provides the conditions to that cathode, since a greater speed is achieved of charging compared to conventional cathodes, and greater stability in the charging cycles. And this, well, it also leads us to have a longer life, a more stable battery and a longer life. Also, and I will also tell you, where there is a great charging speed, you also usually see a great download speed. Then great benefits are achieved with this new scaffolding, or with this new cathode, let's say. Well, from the National University of Córdoba they tell us that this battery consists and promises a great revolution within the battery industry. Don't miss it. They are stating it and telling us that although it will not be ready tomorrow, but in 10 years they do hope to have it on the market. And what they tell us is that even if it does not displace the rest of the batteries, but it is going to make its way. And they also say it in affirmative terms. Yes, it will be a battery that manages to make its way in the battery market, improving what we have today. Well, what is true is that many times we have commented that only by acting on the cathode can very important gains be achieved. Here they do not tell us, they do not talk to us about percentages, but it is true that they could be quite interesting percentages. But what also opens up a new way is towards sustainable batteries, because it is true that that is where the shots go, and in the end, Well, let's say that until now, no one has discovered so many alternatives not to eliminate, for example, the cobalt-nickel cathode. And here, at this university, they have achieved it thanks to this new cathode, well, to God, to cobalt and nickel, which of course are considered not efficient within the battery industry, so we therefore have a great advance if we forget a little where this comes from, but which also gives you, I will say one thing, that it is not the first time that this type of matter that comes from the biological origin of the remains of some animal, it is not the first time that we have found it, but even in cosmetics. In the shampoo that we put on our heads, we can find placenta, for example. In short, the truth is that if we knew what we were working with every day, we would see that human beings are not really manufacturing where there is none, but rather they are taking from where there is, and in many cases from biological remains, that between you and me they would make a goat vomit. Well, what they are also telling us is that this system is going to open a new opportunity for the tannery industry there in Argentina, tanneries. We are not very related to this word, but apparently there are these types of remains of the cow. For example, the hair. Until now they were undone, and apparently there must be, I guess tons, when they are considering to do this kind of thing. So look where you don't, not only sustainability, but also because it is good for the tannery industry in Argentina. Hey, everything in one, and of course I thought I should tell this. Even though it may seem unserious, but of course I will also tell you if it comes from the university, if it also comes with the support of several official organizations, if they have directly gone to patent the United States, and if they are further confirming all this series of things that we have said, well, I have considered that it would be a battery candidate to talk about it here. Who knows if we will see this in the market? Of course, the Argentine University affirms it and tells us that we will see it in 10 years. Well, as usual, I will wait to see your opinion below. And by the way, we have live on Sunday. We have live here on this same channel because there is so much issue regarding the evolution of batteries and the moment at the global level of batteries and lithium in question. I consider that there is enough too, so that we can see each other having a coffee this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Spanish time here on this same channel. I will be able to count on you, yes, because we will be here as usual. I invite you to leave your opinion below, as I said before, and also tell you that if you have just get to this channel, do not subscribe or subscribe at the end. The last word is yours. Good night with Miguel Noche.